This person is deeply drawn to your intelligence and wisdom with the Queen of Swords. This is somebody that feels like they could listen to you talk for hours and that would be time well spent. This is somebody who's very attracted to the sound of your voice and also the way in which you utilize words to tell a story. Even if you're just kind of describing the events of your day in a very basic sense, the way in which you kind of like get very animated, you get very detailed, you get very expressive. It just pulls this person into your world, into looking at the world through your eyes. And it feels like this is a quality that they've never quite experienced in a romantic partner before. You're somebody that you have a gift with words. You got a gift of gab, but you're not somebody that just kind of like fills the space with empty words. It's almost like this person just sees you're a deep thinker. Any opinions that you've expressed, these have been shaped through your life experiences. This person can see your resilience, your compassion, your empathy, your light that comes through even when you're describing like tough or difficult things. It's almost like you're kind. Even if you're needing to be judgmental, there's a kindness to that. Or things that you have very strong opinions about, this person can tell like you've reached that place not from just purely being opinionated, but it's almost like you've developed this sense within you through the unique journey that this life has kind of asked you to embark upon. The path that you have walked upon has not just shaped you at your core as a person, but it is really something that it feels like has served to highlight or showcase your profound intellect, which is very attractive to them. This person could definitely be a sapiosexual, so that heart space unlocks most openly when there is a deeper intellectual connection with another person. It feels like this is somebody who has been struggling to find like their intellectual match, their intellectual equal for quite some time. Maybe this has always been like a missing ingredient, a missing element within romances previously, but with you, they have found that, and so it's very satisfying to them. Yeah, we've got the Ace of Cups. So feelings, romantic feelings, loving feelings towards you are growing by the day. They are deepening, they are developing, and it doesn't feel scary to this person. It feels almost inevitable that you are the person that they will be in a long-term relationship with, that they will fall in love with. This is somebody that it feels very natural to kind of ease into that place of receiving the fullness of who you are and taking that to heart, literally. This is somebody that is not running up into that intellectual space and kind of picking apart all the reasons why it wouldn't work. It's like in the aftermath of these highly kind of like intellectual experiences. So maybe you've been talking with this person a lot, you've been having a lot of conversations lately, and they've been kind of like, sitting in sort of the experience of that, after you part ways, after you go home for the evening, or maybe there's a couple of days in between your interactions. Rather than, picking things apart or allowing fear to kind of take over and cause them to hold back or, convince them maybe you guys are better off as friends. This is something that it's like that kind of ambient afterglow of your experiences with one another. It sits in that heart space. It kind of descends into the heart space and the doors are wide open for this person. This is somebody that it feels right to step forth into more romance with you. It feels right to look the reality that they are falling in love with you or they have fallen in love with you. Look at that very directly, and when they do that, it feels like that is in accordance with their highest good. That is a deep personal truth that as the days go by becomes something very unshakable within them. We've got the Six of Cups. So this person also likes your playful side, your sense of humor, your smile, a mischievous side of you that may have kind of peeked out. They've seen little glimpses of that, something that they may have even kind of provoked that within you through their unique love language, their sense of humor, experiences or conversations that you've had recently. And it feels like it aligns very much with something that they've kind of been looking looking for. The perfect combination of kind of like a mentally sharp person who is also very sweet, like very emotionally sweet, very soft. And you are that. You are that person that kind of embodies both of those aspects, that full spectrum of like they could sit and talk about very nuanced topics with you, or they could sit and just giggle about the silliest things. And both of those experiences would be very fulfilling, very endearing for this person. So this is somebody, it feels like, that they also love to flirt with you. They love to make you smile. They love to make you blush. They think your smile is amazing. Your smile just lights up the room. It lights them up from inside. And so this is somebody that wants to kind of create more reasons for you to smile. They want to create more kind of like sweet experiences, sweet memories between the two of you. We've got the Hierophant. So this person has definitely considered what it would be like to marry you, what it would be like to be in long-term partnership with you, what it would be like to wake up next to you every day, to go to sleep, in your arms or you in their arms every night. This is somebody that is already looking towards those long-term plans and the potential between the two of you. And unlike previous connections that they've been in, or people that they've been interested in the past, where that idea of, like a forever connection or marriage, that might have kind of caused them to tense up inside. Sort of like, I got to make sure before I even let myself think such thoughts. I don't want to, stumble into something and find out it's a mistake. I don't want to end up with the wrong person, or end up with the wrong person again if this person's been married before. But with you, it's kind of like you bypass all of those fears, all of that usual hesitation. You have penetrated this person's armor around their heart space just with your authenticity, with all the aspects of you that speak to them, not just in terms of like they find you sexy, they find you appealing, or, they're really kind of like stuck on the experiences with you, but it's also that kind of like emotional element between you. It's the intellectual element between the two of you. It's the practical experiences between the two of you. It's the realness of who you are. They see you as somebody very down to earth, and yet you are the type of person that, as they imagine, like romance with you would be the greatest adventure of anybody's life. So this is somebody that it feels like is at this point in time kind of like starting to do some calculations within, kind of like, what's it going to take for us to move from wherever we are at with one another at this point in time forward to that moment in time where we are making more of a long-term commitment. We're making more of a permanent commitment with one another. If this is something where the terms of your connection are as yet undefined, it feels like when this person maybe like asks you to, be a couple officially, like be their boyfriend, be their girlfriend, whatever that looks like, that feels like it's something that's a substantial step forward, but it's not the only step. It's kind of like, okay, we take that step. After a period of time, I definitely want to get engaged. And then I don't just want to sit and, we're hanging out in limbo in that sense for a couple of years. It's like, I want to get down to that business of marrying you. And so it feels like this is somebody that is definitely planning like multiple steps ahead, sort of savoring the moment, enjoying where you are with one another at this particular point in time. But you put to rest a lot of fears of commitment that usually surface within them, or that they've been holding inside, a degree of hesitation. Your experiences with one another up to this point, mostly those kind of like intellectual experiences with one another that have helped this person to understand like you'd be a really good partner, not somebody that would just be a dependent and they would always have to be like the strong one, always be the one figuring it out. But it's like you'd make a really good team with one another, or you bring a lot to the table that is helping to kind of reassure some part of them that like, yeah, this is something that, no matter what would sort of happen with us, to either of us, around us, like partnering up with you would be the sensible thing. It would be the thing that would be in alignment with my highest good. It would be the thing that would be most deeply fulfilling on an internal level. We also have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, so it feels like this person definitely wants to make the next major step between the two of you very significant, very memorable. Things might have kind of like taken sort of a casual approach or a casual turn up to this point in time. You took steps forward and now you've just been lingering in this experience of like, let's just enjoy the moment. But don't let that kind of nonchalant energy fool you. It feels like this person is already, again, sort of like mapped out a course forward. They have thought multiple steps ahead, sort of like, okay, I know my tendency to kind of draw things out, or, you know, slow and steady approach works up to a certain point, but then at some point we're going to have to gallop. We're going to have to take, you know, these kind of like bigger steps forward. Once we cross certain lines or thresholds, there's no reason to kind of sit and simmer with that, or take the slow route. And so there's something within them that is kind of like measuring sort of the distance between where you are and that next kind of like major event between the two of you. And from there, it feels like, and so that could be like a big conversation. That could be that person telling you they love you for the first time, or again, kind of like making like an actual commitment to you, like defining those terms of your relationship fully. And beyond that, then there's a sense of like, once that door is open, once that's all been spoken, once that's become something set in stone between the two of us, I want to make you see that I'm not somebody that takes a whole long time to kind of like make major decisions, and that's always going to be what you can expect from me. That this next kind of like major decision, this next like major threshold, this kind of like offer, or this action from them, it feels like that is something which they want to kind of move into this chapter, into this experience, then of things that move a lot more fluidly, a lot more quickly, so that you understand like their mind is made up about you. That once you kind of get into that territory, if you make promises to one another, promises that they intend to keep to you, that this is something that you're not just going to kind of be presented with something that it's like, okay, so it took us this long to get here, and it's something that's going to be years in the making before, you know, kind of the ultimate outcome occurs. We got the Ace of Wands. So it feels like it's very hard for this person to, you know, kind of contain themselves when they are around you. There's a deep desire to hold your hand, to kiss you, to be physically near to you. Like their whole body responds to you. Mind, body, and soul. This person feels very connected to you. This is a very creative energy as well. So somebody that really wants to create a next step with you, create a future with you. As they envision the future or future plans that they have made for themselves, there's now this aspect of, I love what you bring into my life, so let's find a way to make all of these things work for both of us. Let's work together in order to, you know, kind of reach that next horizon so we can each have wish fulfillment. Yeah, we've got Temperance. So it feels like this person feels almost like time is on your side, but they don't want to kind of just adhere to this idea of divine timing. It feels like this person has thought a bit about the past and kind of like it's taken this long, this many like wrong turns, you know, this many things that they have done right in order to align with you in this moment, to have this opportunity to be sitting here right now with you. They see this as the divine has kind of smiled upon the two of you in this moment. And so there's a sense of like going with the flow, surrendering to the process, trusting where you're at this particular point in time, but they're definitely getting these kind of like nudges or indicators from within themselves that the best way to kind of operate moving forward is to seize the moment, to kind of take the power back into their own hands from that concept of divine timing, which has been benevolent enough to kind of open the door of opportunity for the two of you at this point in time. It has brought you together, whatever that path might have looked like for the two of you to come to that place of where you're at here and now. But this is somebody that definitely wants to take the lead moving forward. This is definitely somebody that is aware that a person like you is a rare experience. Somebody like you doesn't come around twice in a lifetime. And rather than kind of like take that for granted or risk that sort of like, you know, a slow and steady approach, or, you know, just being very like measured with kind of the steps that they take forward, rather than risk that that's going to create some sort of like disappointment within you, something that you might not express to them, but could almost just be like an undercurrent that at some point in time might make you kind of give up on them or seek in another direction. This is somebody that it feels like, it aligns so much between the two of you on so many levels at this particular point in time, that idea of creating more closeness at this point now, it feels like something that, yeah, this is the step forward to take. The divine has brought us here to this moment in time. And so now the task for the two of us is to seize this moment, seize this opportunity, follow our hearts even closer towards one another, and look towards the future as something that we don't have to like wait for the opportunity to unfold, but we create that with one another. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.